Hi, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about free energy. So, what is the need for free energy? A process to be spontaneous should be greater than zero. We know delta S is greater than zero. Hence, in order to decide the spontaneity of a process, we have to consider the change in entropy of the system as well as surrounding. It is very difficult to find out the change of entropy of the surroundings every time. So, the following two thermodynamic functions are introduced to determine the entropy of the surrounding. They are Helmholtz free energy A, which is denoted as A, and Gibbs free energy, that is denoted as G. So free energy is isothermally available energy present in a system is called free energy. G is equal to H minus Ts. G is a Gibbs free energy and H is the enthalpy of the system, T is the temperature and S is the entropy. The significance is the decrease in the free energy minus delta G of a process at constant temperature and pressure is equal to the useful work obtained from the system. We will derive this. And what is standard free energy formation? Delta G naught F. The change in free energy when 1 mole of a compound is formed from its reactant in their standard states. So we know there are some of the standard states at standard temperature, pressure, everything. So delta G naught F is equal to summation of delta G naught F products minus delta F G naught reactants. So now we are going to discuss Gibbs free energy detailedly. It refers to the capacity to do useful work. The total energy of a system is converted into work and the rest is unavailable. The part of energy which is converted into useful work is called available energy. The isothermally available energy present in the system to do useful work is called free energy G. It is mathematically defined as G is equal to total energy minus unavailable energy. And the total energy is enthalpy of the system and the unavailability is Ts, that is temperature and entropy. So G is equal to H minus Ts is the mathematical representation of Gibbs free energy. And this is a derivation for Gibbs free energy and it is given by the total available energy present in a reversible system at constant temperature and pressure as useful work. So G is equal to H minus Ts. So for a small change, delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. We know mathematical expression of enthalpy delta H is equal to delta E plus P into dV. This is the combination of first law and the second law. So we are going to substitute this into the before equation. So the equation becomes delta G is equal to delta E plus P into dV minus T into ds. When you substitute equations 5 and 4, we get delta G is equal to delta A plus T into delta S plus P into delta V minus T into delta. So these two terms will get cancelled. So delta G is equal to delta A plus P into dV. Since delta A is equal to minus W max, the above equation becomes minus delta E G is equal to W max minus P into delta V, where P into delta V is the work done by the expansion and W max is the maximum work done from the system and W max minus P into delta V is the net work or useful work. Hence minus delta G is equal to W useful, that is work useful. At last, they will define thus the decrease in the free energy minus delta G of a process at constant temperature and pressure is equal to the useful work obtainable from the system. The next is Helmholtz free energy. A part of internal energy of a system can be used at constant temperature to do some useful work. So this part of internal energy E, which is isothermally available, is called work function A and it's mathematically defined as A is equal to E minus Ts. Here A is the Helmholtz free energy, E is the internal energy, and temperature. After that, S is entropy of the system. So this is again the derivation. Helmholtz work function mathematically expressed as A is equal to E minus Ts. So for a small change, delta A is equal to delta E minus T into delta S. See here they are introducing second law of thermodynamics. We know delta S is equal to Q reversible by T. After that they will rearrange. Then this becomes T into delta S is equal to Q reversible. So substituting this into the before equation, the equation becomes delta A is equal to delta E minus Q reversible. So again here they are introducing first law also. So first law is delta E is equal to Q minus W. After rearranging, delta E minus Q is equal to minus W. So substitute this into the before equation, or they will get delta A is equal to minus W max, or otherwise minus delta A is equal to W max. But W max is the maximum work. So the decrease in the Helmholtz work function of a process at constant temperature gives you the maximum work obtained from the system. So these are some of the expected questions from this topic. And at last you'll be able to acquire knowledge on the derivations in free energy, Gibbs free energy and Helmholtz free energy. Thank you.